Now for your queries, and the first one is from Prakash Jadwani. Prakash has a query, and I'm just going to read off the query first and then go to Sanjiv for his thoughts. In the present leg of Nifty to 22,000 plus, in the next 4 to 6 months, what are your views on Reliance? Will the stock underperform? If yes, what would be the reason behind the underperformance? Sanjiv, there used to be a time when we would say only Vimal, right? The old tagline for Reliance said only Vimal. And it happened. A couple of years ago, Reliance was the only one which was making money. Large cap stocks were making money. Now the reverse is happening. When do you think the Dalal Street Bulls will start saying again, only Vimal, only Vimal?
Yeah, good afternoon, Nikunj. You are right. But, Reliance did nothing for 10 years, but in 2 years, it made up for that 10 years. So now I think there is a lot of sectoral rotation and Reliance is taking a backseat. But please do not underestimate Mukesh Ambani. I think he's the most smart businessman and he is slowly but surely diversifying his assets. O2C Chemical has become cash free in the infrastructure, in the expenditure, and now is a cash churner. So is Geo, and now his retail is playing out excellently. I am now betting on his new energy play, which can be very, very strong. So sum of parts, I think the next 6 months actually belong to Reliance. I wouldn't be surprised if we get 3,200 on Reliance before this election. So that's about a 15% upside. And I would definitely think this is one large cap which you must own in your portfolio in this consolidation.
So what should Prakash do? Add more or just stay with his positions?
No, he should do a sip. I think a sip in Reliance is very, very good. If you can do it on a weekly basis, excellent, or do it on a monthly basis for the next 6 months, you will definitely make more money in any than any other large cap.
Okay. Next question is from Sridhar. And here's the context here. He's bought 320 shares of Bank of Baroda at 211. Now, just folks remember that 2018-19, the government had to infuse 80,000 crore 5 years ago, inflation adjusted could be 95,000 crore to bail out some of these banks. BOB, SBI, even, I'm not even getting into the line of smaller banks. Some of the banks were put by Reserve Bank of India under a framework where they were not allowed to lend. I mean, that was the sorry state of affair for the banking sector. But look at the turn. A sector which was called as the ugly duckling was bereft of capital. Government has to infuse money. They came at sub-book. It was more like a necessity and survival. Today, BOI, QIP in this week has raised a phenomenal table-thumping response and a response like never before. So the tide has turned for PSU banks. But I'll be specific with Sridhar's query here. And Sanjiv, Bank of Baroda at 211. Specifically for BOB, is it a good idea to buy and stay put?
He has bought at the top of the rally. So Nikunj, give it more time. Bank of Baroda results have been the most stellar after CanBank and PNB, and I think it will continue. But they have an overseas business which is not doing all that well, and they are in the process of shutting down some of those, which will add to the cost. I think Mr. Chadha has actually turned around this bank, and fintech has done extremely well. I would say you could see for a target of 240 to 245, but like I said, you are in it at the precarious moment of just on the cusp of a new high. So obviously new highs are going to be challenged and there can be correction, but I would still think you have a 10%, 15% upside in this stock. However, if you want to balance out, I think some of the large cap banks, particularly ICICI and Kotak, are giving you a very good entry point where visibility of earnings and future prospects seem even more brighter.
All right, Bhasin Saab, always a pleasure. Pleasure to have you, and thank you for answering our viewers and just giving them very pinpoint advice in terms of what they should do and what they should not do.